So a bass session player that I know and work with from time to time has been getting into playing the double bass over the last couple of years, and they've got to the point with the instrument now where they want to try and get some session work with the double bass to augment their electric bass session work, and also they want to get a gypsy jazz duo together to get out and play for money in London from time to time. So they came to me about making a demo showreel for them, and we've been experimenting with recording the double bass over the last week using some budget Lewitt mics, which I bought recently for another project I'm doing, which is to record, mix and master an album for a London band. And if you're a beginner to all this and you want to learn how to record a band, then check the description below, where you'll find a link to a playlist of tutorial videos I'm keeping showing the complete process to record, mix and master that album for that London band. So check that out. Okay, now on with this double bass recording. The main mics that we used to capture the recording of the bass was two of these LCT 040 match budget pencil condensers from Lewitt, and we used a pair of those, about £145 for a match stereo pair, positioned out level with the left-right edge of the instrument, pointing in slightly, about 9-10 inches from the body of the instrument, up level with the bottom of the fretboard. Now these two mics are going to give us our stereo recording of the bass, and by positioning them a little bit higher up by the fretboard area, we'll also get plenty of string and fretting slap noise coming from that part of the bass. However, if it turns out that those two mics don't give us enough low body tone for the bass, we're going to augment that stereo pair with a mono recording of the body of the instrument captured with this Lewitt DTP 340 Rex, which is their budget bass and kick drum mic. And that mic was positioned down below the bridge, about 8-9 inches from the body, pointing in at one of the F-holes, and we left it in its unenhanced switching position, which means it doesn't emphasize any frequencies. Okay, so that mic positioned low down there like that is going to capture mostly warm bass body tone and very little of the fretboard and string slapping noise up at the other end of the instrument. And if the stereo pair turn out to not give us enough warm bottom end body tone, we can blend in some of that DTP 340 to give us extra warm bass end for the instrument. Okay, so here we are in Logic, and just to say, these were test recordings we were doing to see how the mics would perform recording the bass, and I am aware that something was buzzing on the bass the whole time we were recording. So you're going to hear that on the recordings. That won't be on the final recording session that we do. I think it was the tuner clip to the bridge. Okay, so that won't be on the final recordings. When we do the final session, we're going to do about 5 or 6 tracks, and they're going to be put together into a showreel compilation. Okay. All right. So what have we got? Well, here's the tracks, and this is the body track. The mono mic pointing at the body of the instrument, the DTP 340 Rex, and it's got an EQ on it, shelving off all the top end. But if I take that off, if this is what it sounds like. Okay, right, nice warm tone, but what I'm doing is I'm shelving all that upper end detail off from about 900 Hz up, and I'm shelving it off a lot, so this is just all warm body tone. Okay, so that's my warm body tone mic with the upper end detail, any that was there, which wasn't a lot to begin with, shelved off. Okay, slow that right back down. Okay, now these are the left-right stereo pencil condenser mics. They're panned out respectively left-right, about 30 pan. They're going to a group bus here, and I'm doing the opposite of the bass mic, the body mic. I'm shelving off the bottom end on these, whereas on the body mic I was shelving off the top end. Without that shelf, the stereo pair of mics sound like this. Yeah, and it's a surprisingly warm, sonorous sound from those pencil mics. They're picking up a lot of body for such tiny little mics, okay? But what I want to do is really thin that out. So get rid of all that bottom end tone, so I really just get the detail of the mids and the upper from this, and I'm giving it a little bit of air shelf, tiny bit, And they sound like this now with this big low shelf cut from 300 Hz down. Okay, that's making them obviously bass light, but we got all that detail in there. And then I can blend in as much of the body from this mono mic as I want and control the amount of body tone I'm getting versus the very detailed, really bass light stereo pair. Here we go. I'll blend in some body now. Okay, so I won't have too much of the body tone. I still want it to be a little bit bass light. I don't want it to be overloaded with bottom end, right? And that's the rough mix, right? And then the backing track here, let's just solo that. It's just taken from YouTube. That's what the musician was playing along to when we recorded the bass, and we just downloaded the backing track, and I'm cutting all the bottom end off because it's got a bass and a strumming guitar on it, so we're cutting the bottom end off to get rid of the bass. It makes it sound a bit thin, but when it's blended in with the bass, it's okay. This is it. Okay, shelving off all that bottom end from sort of 300 Hz down, and it is making the guitar a bit body light, but it's okay when it's blended in with the bass. And we're having it quite low in the mix, this guitar. Having it lower than we would have the guitar if I was actually mixing a gypsy jazz duo or trio or whatever. So we want it low, so we want it low, so we're emphasising the bass. Okay, and there you go. That's roughly the kind of recording we're getting, and it was just done to see how the mics would perform before we go on and do the final sessions. And I think the mics did a really good job for budget mics. Okay, so that's anyway what we got in Logic. So recording a double bass with budget Lewitt mics, that's our test recording so far, and I think they did a really good job. The LCT 040 Match, that's Lewitt's budget pencil small diaphragm condenser mic, and you can buy those individually or as a matched stereo pair. And the DTP 340 Rex, which is Lewitt's budget bass drum and general purpose bass instrument dynamic microphone. And I think that the mics did a really good job recording the bass, so we can confidently go forward and do the final production now after we've done a few tweaks. And I'll put that online to show you what the final video came out like, and you can check it out when that's done. Incidentally, everything was filmed there on a Sony ZV-E10, which I bought recently for the channel. So we'll be using that camera from now on for a better general purpose video picture quality on the channel videos. Okay, hope that's really useful. Please subscribe, put on notifications, all the usual stuff. I'll see you for more videos soon.